My fellow residents, I know what we're gonna do today! Behold my other Dimensionator! Since it's my birthday, I want to take a bit of a trip to another dimension, and I totally didn't steal this device from a certain someone. Anyways, I want to try and find another me in another dimension. Just send a search signal. Ah, found a dimension. And away we go. Wow, this room is definitely smaller. You alive there, bud? Kinda don't want the first me to be at that one. You sound disappointed. Figured you'd be surprised to see another version of yourself when you wake up. Well, they've decided to replace me. Wait, what? What was it I was doing wrong? Okay, listen, I don't even know who they are. YouTube, of course. Who else? Excuse me? I guess you aren't here to replace me then. What exactly goes on in this dimension? Wait, you're from another dimension? Yes, and a better one it seems. But again, what's going on here? Well, basically everyone in this sector of this dimension is a slave to the YouTube corporation and is forced to make videos for the rest of our lives in horrible conditions, both on and offline, and if we fail to comply, we'll be killed off and replaced with an exact replica who will act as if nothing happened, and the potential to fail is incredibly high due to unfair, inconsistent, and obviously biased treatment of the rules, but we have to deal with it anyways, otherwise, we'll all perish. Are you sure we're from different dimensions? Hey, you wanted to know what's going on here. Look, I don't doubt you. Especially given the fact that you're trapped in a jail cell that hardly fits one person. I do have a question for you though. What? Want to do a video? I can bring you to my dimension and we can do it there. Really? Considering that this dimension hasn't imploded yet because we're aware of each other's existences, why not? Cool, start it up. Did it work? Oh, you've got to be kidding me. It's broken, isn't it? I need a signal to go to another dimension and we're not getting one here. Well, good luck with that. Weren't you so keen on leaving just now? Well, since you seemed to teleport in here earlier, I thought I'd be fine, but since that's not happening anymore, I'm not disobeying YouTube. And I'm not gonna make a song and dance to convince you to come with me. How about this? You help me, and we review a game. I won't even make it play a bad one. Or I could make everyone who put me through all of this pay. I'd have them burned to the stake as they met the fate of everyone they've hurt. What's more, I could get off scot-free. I know exactly what I'll be doing today. What a great birthday present this will be. I would love nothing more. Alright, weirdo, come on. That was not hard to pick at all. That's why. Hope you know how to run. Phineas and Ferb Across the Second Dimension, a movie that gave an outlook on how a series, universe, and everything in it could be completely different given the right circumstances, and to me, it was awesome. I also ended up crying when I first saw this movie. The ending is really sad. Indeed it was. Oh, also, I decided to have this guy, Second Dimension me, which I'm just gonna call him, for this video. Wait, how are we gonna do the vlog thing with the review? I'll have the review portion and then I'll have a vlog portion. Oh, seems fair. But anyways, without further delays, both of us Frozen Caverns will begin reviewing the Phineas and Ferb Across the Second Dimension video game. The game takes place during the middle point of the story where the gang is jumping through dimensions in order to get back to their original dimension. This allows for a lot of open space for what the developers want to do with the locations of the game, which we'll go more into later. The story is treated like a relatively new storyline while still being close to the original story. This isn't new to license-based games, as plenty of other games I've reviewed has done that. However, a good amount of things are left out from the movie. A small amount of characters aren't in the game, like Jeremy, Phineas and Ferb's parents, in both dimensions actually. There's plenty of other examples as well, and the ending especially takes out a lot of impact that the movie gave. Speaking of the characters, Agent T, or Terry the Turtle, whichever you want to call him, is a new character that is also explained as well. Apparently, in the second dimension, Phineas and Ferb brought Baljeet to the pet store when they got Perry, and Baljeet got a turtle. Was that all that important though? If there wasn't an explanation, we'd be complaining about them adding this guy and not having the other characters that are missing. Fair enough. The ending makes the game over with very abruptly, more than it should be, to be honest. Everything before that, though, is enjoyable, but the game just ends, basically implying that you should watch the movie. Though I will say that if the movie's ending was completely spoiled, there wouldn't be much of a reason to watch the movie, so I can give it that much. Overall, though, the story's good, but it could have been handled a bit better with its ending and use of characters. Alright, we made it. By the way, you never told me how everything got like this. Well, the short and sweet answer is that Disney started to buy out a bunch of companies, and at some point they became so large that they now own pretty much everything. Maybe I should have checked to see if I took a time traveler-inator on accident. So, you mean everything? Fast food places? Disney. Car brands? Disney. Everything? You heard me say everything, right? I think I need to stop Disney in my own dimension now. Also, how come you could teleport to here but couldn't get out earlier? That doesn't make a lot of sense. Well, this thing needs a connection through some kind of signal between the starting and final destinations. And I could connect to the next dimension, but I didn't get a signal from this one. Most of YouTube is kept secure due to fear of hacking and stuff like that, so that's probably why. But what would allow you to get here? Oh, no, nothing's wrong. I might actually know what happened. YouTube sends drones around into people's cells for brief checkups. That might have had its own signal and you just happened to have connected to it before it went away. So we have to get close to one of them and we'll be out of here. Close to it? Well, the range isn't high. It's that or nothing. Great. And we've been caught. Are you forgetting that's in our favor now? The biggest thing to take note of in this game is the graphical style, and it doesn't look too bad most of the time, which is honestly surprising. It's usually in cutscenes where the characters can look a little bit weird, but at the same time, given how a lot of characters have oddly shaped heads, I can't exactly say that this will always 100% look normal. The models work well considering it's transferring a 2D art style to a 3D one, and it's better than some games that have tried doing this. Plus, during gameplay you probably won't be paying the most amount of attention to that anyways, but if you do, again, it still looks really good. Everything is bright and colorful, and environments look like they are straight from the show itself. There's a good variety of environments like a balloon dimension, an old-timey black and white dimension, and of course the second dimension, which the characters randomly decided to call it even though there are plenty of other dimensions that don't get named. But whatever, I guess it's just to differentiate between the two. The music is also pretty good. The songs all sound orchestral, which at first you'd think would be a little weird for a Phineas and Ferb game, but it actually works out pretty well, and the songs are good too, so there's a bonus. By the way, every single character involved in this game has the same voice actors from the show and movie. It's pretty rare when every character in a license-based game has their original voice actors reprise their role, so getting to hear the originals is fantastic, even if some characters aren't actually in the game, but for the most part, them not being there doesn't take away from the game. So, did it work? Yes and no. What does that mean? The device got shot before we fully teleported, so unfortunately, the connection got knocked off course. So, where are we now? Oh! This is the dimension I went to for my Smash 64 video! It's a dimension that's kind of non-existent within time and space, and portals between this and other dimensions are constantly opening for newcomers. When do you think the next time the portals will open for your dimension? Probably whenever I do my Smash Melee review. And if you guys want me to do that, stop advertising yourself. It's my video, I can do what I please. Wait, how come no one's fighting right now? Everyone's probably on break. The people here don't fight all the time. That's how I do the filming for some videos. Oh, I do want to ask, by the way, I'm assuming you do review videos as well? Oh yeah, license-based game reviews. Okay, makes sense, we are the same person. What games have you done? Superman 64, E.T., Shaq Fu, stuff like that. Oh, okay, what is the best game out of the ones you reviewed? Pac-Man on Atari 2600. That version is awful. Why would you do that to yourself? This is coming from yourself, by the way. Well, I can't deny YouTube, can I? Anyways, we can't stay long. Don't want to be a part of the fighting. We already have to deal with the dimension hopping as it is. Yeah, you said the signals would open and close constantly, right? Yep. So, away we go to somewhere. Before going into levels, you are able to select two characters between the ones you can choose from. You can switch between these two at any time, unless you're in multiplayer, then the both of you stay as the character you choose. Each character has a favorite gadget and an ability such as increased damage for certain attacks or bonus experience or items. When progressing through levels, the two characters go through various areas using 6 gadgets to defeat enemies, but they all have unique traits and actions that no other gadget can do. The famous baseball launcher launches baseballs. What a surprise. These baseballs automatically fly towards enemies. You can also use a remote-controlled baseball to work its way towards a button. The anti-gravity ray allows you to pick up enemies and throw them. If the enemy is too big to just be picked up, the gadget will attack the enemy until it can be picked up. This will also lift heavy objects to put them into a needed place or position. The carbonator is essentially a flamethrower, but with soda. Its bonus function is that you can fill up gauges to complete some puzzles. The resistance grade ninja glove is primarily used for climbing and jumping off of walls. It's actually the only weapon that doesn't come with an attack by default, but we'll get more into that in a bit. The digital hacker is an electric shotgun, but wait, there's more. It lets you hack machines. Again, no doubt when you look at the title of it. Doing so puts you into a minigame where you have to defend a position from data things. I'll just call them bugs. I don't really know what these things are. The organization without a cool acronym gives you the Alka Beacon, which lets you summon an Alka agent to assist you in battle. Some of the weapons have an ammo amount that recharges over time. If the ammo is too low, you won't be able to attack with that gadget. In case you get surrounded, you can use an emergency move which attacks all around you. This move will also need to be recharged, as I can imagine being able to spam a strong attack like that would be bad. In particular areas, you will be given a blueprint. You'll need to search around and complete puzzles in order to get blueprint parts to make an invention, some of these being gadgets, others being level-specific items to progress. The gadgets you get are able to be leveled up to level 4 by using them against enemies. Level 2 allows sound chips to be put onto them, which changes how the gadget sounds when used. Level 3 allows visual effect chips to be put onto the gadget, which changes the color of the projectile that is fired. All level ups increases the amount of slots for upgrade chips, but level 4 is a max level with the most slots for them. However, you can't just upgrade the gadgets on the fly. You'll need to get electronics from enemies you defeat and use those at workbenches to upgrade your gadgets. Having a certain amount of electronics gives you an upgrade chip. The upgrade chips can be put towards increases in damage, rate of fire, recharge rate, and ammo capacity. However, if you don't really have a preference, the game does give you an option to just auto-equip them, but you aren't able to take them off, so make sure you be careful if you use this. You can also put on the sound and visual effect chips at the workbenches. There are also mod chips that are hidden in certain areas of levels, which give special attributes to your gadgets, which are usually status effects added to your projectiles. Each gadget has 2 mod chips that you can find for them, and you don't have to go to a workbench for these to work, they just automatically go to your weapon. And this is where the ninja glove comes in, as one of these mod chips gives it a sludge ball attack. In most levels there are health packs that can be picked up which heal both characters. Some levels are semi-auto-scrolling jetpack segments where you have infinite ammo. By defeating enemies you build up 2 gauges, one for firecrackers and another for team attacks. The firecrackers are a high damage projectile that hits a large area, and you can hold up to 9 at a time. The team attack is your strongest attack, however both players have to work together to aim it. The end of each level gives a comparison between both characters involved through electronics, gold tokens, and enemies defeated. Oh yeah, we haven't explained the gold tokens yet, so we should probably do that. Almost every level has 5 gold tokens that you can collect. These are used for 2 minigames after beating a level: Parry Ball, which is basically skee ball, and a claw machine. Parry Ball is used for getting tickets, while a claw machine can get you a variety of things: tickets, tokens, gadget chips, and figures. The tickets you get can be used in a shop for gadget chips, characters, costumes, and figures. And now we're in a black and white version of... Wait, this isn't either of our rooms. It's actually quite nice compared to both of ours. I wonder if this is where my shadow comes from. Wait, there's a shadow version of you too? Well, no? He was from another dimension as well. Wait, If you met someone who's from another dimension, why didn't you assume that I was from another dimension? Oh, I don't know, probably because he was literally black and white. YouTube at least makes decent looking copies of his inmates, you know. He was dressed like you, actually. I haven't seen him since my Shaq Fu video, though. Just hoping YouTube didn't off him. When was this review exactly? Around New Year's? Why? Cavern? Frozen. TheFrozenCavern, I don't care what you want to be called. Cut the crap and finish the video. You have no reason to quit. Are you good? What? You blinked out after I said that. It's nothing. He should be fine. Well, are we gonna go to the next dimension or what? We don't exactly have much to do here. Right. Oh, I never asked. How are your friends? They're good. Why are you asking me that? No reason. What happened to them in your dimension? Before the DT or Disney takeover, some of them moved to Twitch, but of course, Disney bought that too at some point. So they're basically in the same standing as YouTube creators, just in a different division, so I haven't heard from them since. Others quit content creation altogether and tried to move on to other things in their lives. Some got out before the takeover, but some managed to force their way out. With the DT being everywhere, there weren't exactly many places they could go. There is a rumor going around the cells about a resistance, so maybe they're a part of that, but I haven't heard from them since either. And some of them, they didn't make the cut. What? They were forced to YouTube like I am and didn't make the cut, and some tried to escape. Do you really think all of them made it? They're gone? Worse. They got replaced. Made shells of their former selves. They have no memories from before the DT, and hardly any relations with anyone. Saying they have a soul anymore is stretching it. Do you know what it's like knowing someone has died, yet you see them so often and can never acknowledge them the same way ever again? I'm sorry. The creativity that has revolved around this game is awesome. The use of dimensions, particularly the black and white one, the jetpacks, the giant robot fight, the many references that are made through certain dialogue, figures, costumes, and more, and the fact that you almost always are constructing gadgets and machines, which is a major part of Phineas and Ferb's niche. I mean, for a gelatin boss, you have to defeat it by eating it. Try and tell me that's not a Phineas and Ferb solution. There are also in-game achievements that you can complete which even rewards you with cheats, like more XP, more electronics, big head mode for individual characters, and plenty more. It's not very often nowadays where you'll get rewarded with cheats for going out of your way. The combat, mainly being the gunplay, is pretty satisfying, especially when you just become extremely broken beyond belief in later parts of the game due to the upgrades and mod chips. Wait, isn't being broken a bad thing because the game would be too easy? Well, yes it would, however, the game wasn't boring on top of you being broken. I was honestly amazed that just about everything I did worked well, and you are free to do whatever you please until a gadget is needed, and every gadget feels like it has its own special use. Not only that, but levels were most of the time quick and to the point, with little that felt like it padded out the game, while each level's design was unique, keeping you from feeling like you were doing the same thing over and over. Everything feels like it has a purpose, to be fun. Huh. Interesting take. I guess that also makes 100%ing this game a bit more bearable considering all the extra stuff like the figures, sounds, and other things you can get. Which, to be honest, can take a long time, so there's definitely a lot of content in terms of that. Plus, you can go back in previous levels with everything you get from the future levels. And also, speaking of the gunplay, there's actually a reason as to why using those special gadgets are so satisfying from a developer standpoint. This game was actually made by High Impact Games, which have had their hands on the Ratchet & Clank and Jak series, and later even assisted in Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 on the Wii, so they definitely know what they're doing when it comes to gunplay. They were also developing a remake for Crash Team Racing before it got cancelled. Huh. Funny how things work out sometimes. Okay, finally we're back. Great. Now let's go record that video. Hold up.
A lot of crazy
Do you hear that?
happened, but in this episode, we're actually going to be going through the actual Keyblade War and having to fight numerous characters that we fought in the past. And oh goodness, it's gonna be a blast.
To be honest, I am kind of hoping that we end up fighting the characters individually. So,
because
I guess in
seems
this
kinda cool
dimension, we're
and
still
because
let's
it
playing
seems kinda cool
games.
that way. I'm honestly kind of expecting it to go down that way, but
As
if it doesn't,
much as I'd like to
kinda
reminisce over times where this was fun for me, I kind of want to leave.
We're nearing
Same.
the end of this game. I'm kind of surprised by this.
I'm proud of you.
It's been a long journey.
You've gotten really far in all
Going up to
this.
Kingdom Hearts 3. It's
You just keep going.
crazy, to be honest, to think that
You've got this.
we're here. We're finally here now.
Most bosses tend to feel like they take a long time. It's mostly due to the fact that most of the time you're just waiting for your enemy to be vulnerable and then you do as much damage as possible. Then it's back to waiting again. However, the boss against First Dimension Doofenshmirtz is the worst, since it works like a Sonic's boss for some reason, and you just have to wait his attacks until you finally get a chance to hit him. The boss itself lasts about 8 minutes on its own, and that's because his attack phases are so ridiculously long, and it feels like it takes even longer than 8 minutes. And speaking of bosses, why is there no Perry the Platyborg boss in this game? Actually, why is he not in this game at all? He was a major part of the movie, had a good amount of occurrences throughout it, and quite frankly was one of the best parts about the movie. He's never mentioned, not even after the events are over and done with. He could have even been a potential boss for a jetpack segment at the very least, but he's just not here for some reason. Now yes, this could also go in the same category that we mentioned earlier with the fact that Jeremy, Phineas and Ferb's parents aren't there, etc. But at the same time, because Perry the Platyborg was so major, it's just really disappointing that they didn't go through with any of that potential at all. Why does everything look like this? This looks like a motherboard for a computer. Oh, please tell me this isn't a data dimension. I already have to deal with this in video games. I don't need this in real life. Wait, what is that? These are other dimensions. Look, we came from some of these. Even yours is being watched. Wait, so who's watching the other dimensions? I mean, someone would have to. There's no reason for these monitors otherwise. That would be me, hotshots. What are... Oh, I'm a nanite. A master core nanite of this dimension to be precise. You can call me whatever will tear you limb from TheFrozenCavern. What? Anyways, enough about me. Let's talk about these monitors, as well as you, who is also me. Well, actually, I need to explain something else first. The dimensions are in danger. What? I'm sure you're well aware of the other dimensions, otherwise, how else could you have gotten here? Though I am still surprised to see visitors. Not like that occurs very often now. Alright, enough. Just tell us what's going on. Something ran through this dimension and made it uninhabitable. If that thing isn't stopped, the other dimensions will basically be utterly destroyed. So, I have created data simulations of all the dimensions that exist, and they are backed up here on this computer. So, when it comes time for the people to run, there will be a safe haven I call the Bright Side. Gee, what a friendly name to remind everyone that their homes just got destroyed. Why are you sure that this is even happening? Like, how are we even supposed to trust you? Well, one, I am literally you. And two, because it's already happened here. Why else would I care about this? It's now a dimension lost within space and time. Whatever ran through here caused a connection to the prime dimension, the first dimension, call it PD or FD for short, to be mostly cut off, and that is every dimension's core of power. Without that connection, a dimension will fade from existence. Prime dimension? What are you talking about? You seriously don't know? It's your dimension, Cavern, duh. What? Every dimension has, and I'll make this simple, a heart. Each has varying power levels. Yours just so happens to be the most balanced power level, straight down the middle, and that is why it is the prime. Okay, this is a lot to take in. Well, I'm going to keep going anyways, since you still have a review to do. My plan is foolproof, except it actually isn't. See, I am able to live on here since I don't have to sustain off of life, and I made the computer out of the same material, so me and this computer can exist in this soon-to-be empty hole of darkness. However, since people won't be able to, I need to transfer them into the machine directly.
The air has been a little bit hard to breathe.
The problem is maintaining everything in a simulation. The data for the dimensions are fine. Those are just simple calculations of their hearts and then projecting said calculations like weather, time, life of nature, stuff like that into a physical form. It's the people that makes this difficult. The amount of data that even a single person's heart possesses is so massive it almost overwhelms this machine as it is. A person's very essence, their memories, personalities, emotions, thoughts, etc., has too many constantly changing variables to keep the simulation in a stable condition. I have to accommodate for that. Doing otherwise would essentially be cutting out a part of their brains, and that isn't exactly the safest tactic for a variety of reasons.
So you can't save every dimension then?
Not now at least, but I have been hard at work for about... what day is it now?
April 28th?
Ooh, my birthday. What luck. Anyways, 19 years.
What? How long do we have until that thing destroys the dimensions?
Well, if the first dimension gets destroyed, everything's over. But we can talk about that later. For now, you've got a review to do, and this segment's running too long.
We still got questions.
Bye-bye now.
The favorite gadget thing does nothing, or at least not to a notable state. It's not like the CPUs use the gadget listed over the others. They mainly use the baseball launcher unless you manually change it yourself by switching to the character and choosing a gadget. It's also kinda hard to tell if a favorite gadget does more damage since you get completely broken later on. That's really the one thing that seems pointless in this game, but at the same time, it's not very important either since you'll probably care more about the ability and your favorite character over anything else. Plus, again, you get broken later on, so it almost doesn't matter. The CPUs will teleport a lot while going through levels. Of course, this is so your teammate won't get stuck, but it seems to do this all the time. Hearing the copter blades a lot of the time is annoying, but it at least brings them back properly, and I'd rather have that than the ally getting stuck the entire game. So, that whole data thing, I don't know. Wait, are we back in my dimension? It's my room, it's not black and white. I don't hear anyone else. Nothing weird outside. Yeah, this should be it. That nanite thing might have sent us here. It had to have known where we were trying to go since it was watching us. Regardless, I'm getting this thing fixed. I think the both of us have had enough adventures for a while. Yeah, to be honest. I had this whole thing where I wanted to take revenge, but after everything, especially the data stuff, I'd prefer to just be in a place to call home. I can understand wanting revenge on those that hurt you, especially when it's become so widespread. But hey, that resistance might be an actual thing, and with the nanite's plan, he might be able to make a new home for you. Well, if he develops it enough, that is. Well, why not stay here? Because if those drones can travel dimensions, that'll cause even more problems than we've already got. And that brings concern to a lot more people than needed. Alright then, I'll open the portal. This game in a lot of areas did fantastically, or at the very least were well done. The combat's satisfying, the use of dimensions, music, and visuals are great, and it's a game that you can pick up and put down with how quick and to the point levels are. I do wish that more characters were involved, particularly a certain Platyborg, and that bosses were overall better, but the rest of the source material is used finely. Given how great this movie was, it would have been a big shame for this game to have been a disaster, especially since it's the first Phineas and Ferb game to ever release on consoles. Both of us would have to say that this game holds up very well to the movie, and it's probably one of the best license-based games that we've ever played. Well, guess this is goodbye. For now at least, who knows if that data stuff will bring us up again. Oh, by the way, you can have the game. Wait, what? Given just about everything you've been through, you need this way more than I do. Thanks. I hope that resistance finds you, man. Again, you need it. Thanks. Best of luck to you too, man. What's going on, my fellow residents? It's me, TheFrozenCavern, and thank you guys for making it to the end of this video. So this video had a lot of planning around it, as you can probably tell, since this video, I think, is as long as my Kingdom Hearts 3 review. So yeah, keep in mind, I didn't have to do that. That's for you guys, and myself, kind of. And I have to do something with multiple dimensions because of the fact that it was across the second dimension, and that movie has a lot of stuff to do with dimensions in the first place. And not only that, but this also has ties to my April Fool's video. And in case you haven't seen that, make sure you watch it. But for those of you who have, I told you, everything will make sense with time. So also, happy April Fool's, because I haven't said it yet. Yep. Everything was just a big April Fool's joke, and you guys didn't buy into it until this video. That is, again, if you guys saw the actual April Fool's video. If you didn't, then this kind of makes no sense. But also, today's my birthday, April 28th, and I am turning 19, so there's that too. So I figured for a happy birthday present to you guys for some odd reason, I decided to make this video very, very special, especially since Across the Second Dimension was a very special movie in my childhood, since, again, as I mentioned at the beginning of this video, that movie made me cry. I'm not even gonna lie to you guys about that ending. Again, if you haven't seen it, please do. And I do want to try and do more videos like this, not nearly to the length or as often as this, but I want to have my own little lore within my videos, and it's gonna be awesome. And also, hopefully everything that I mentioned so far has made a lot of sense, which means you guys might also have to go back and watch some of my other videos, so haha, that's also self-promotion. But regardless, make sure you guys go into the description because that's where all of my social medias are. My Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Discord are all in the description, and you can use all of these as ways of making sure of when my next upload is, what plans I have for the future, and things like that. But if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe, as well as share this video out with your friends and family. But until the next video, take care.
I want you for a